when I started high school, I was very naive, I was dumb, I didn't know anything, and Mother was super. I owe so much to Mother. Mother says, okay, Saturday morning, there's going to be tryouts for the a cappella choir. And I thought, so? She says, well, I want you to go down there and try out for the choir. I think it's because Edwin and Louise both sang in choir. Edwin sang down there, and Delman didn't sing, and I don't know if Leland. But anyway, Edwin's short, and Julia. So anyway, she said, you're going to go down there and try out for the a cappella choir.
What a good mother.
So I go down there, and Armand Willerson, the director, he's there, and we had a wonderful music room at South High. The stairs, the seats went up like this for the choir. You sit in the, so anyway, really neat. So there was about 6 of us trying out that morning, and he would play on the piano. And then and then he'd call each one and have them, okay, you
Sing that.
thumb that to me, and then he'd play a little different rhythm and have you do that. And he did 2 or 3 things, and then he'd go to the next person, call them, and he went down the line. Each one of us had to do that. And then he said, I want to thank you all for coming here today. You can all go home, except Elden Erickson. And then he talked to me and he said, when you sign up for your classes, make sure you put down a cappella choir.
Oh.
So in the a cappella choir, we sang we did a musical, Student Prince, high school Student Prince, background group on it. I sure wasn't the soloist, background. And so I was sitting in the seats there on the front row in our music room, waiting for my turn, waiting to be called. And this girl, who was a long time, I've known her from they were born or whatever, because her mother's the one that gave me piano lessons. Her father was in the bishopric with my dad, and so the Fosters. She comes walking in with Joyce.
How old were you?
He was 16, I was
16.
17.
Okay.
Oh, you're older than he is.
Oh, only
A few
10 months.
A few months.
All right. So Joyce walks in with a girl that
The
you
foster
know.
girl.
And he had these comic books.
Well, you have to do
He's
something
only
while you're
16 years
waiting.
old and he had comic books. So I said, well, let me read your comic books.
Cute.
So he did. So when I gave him back to him, I took his hand and I kissed his hand
And why did you do that?
because he was so cute.
She kissed the back of my hand. I could watch the front to eat. But
But he said it was weeks before he washed the top of his head.
So you were thrilled by that, huh?
So
well, I
then-
remember that. I just like she likes to tell that part. I'll let her tell that part. So
then
anyway.
Lowowski came to Utah to direct a choir of the first time they performed the Battle Hymn.
I know Wilhowski.
Will
I
Howski
know
did that.
Wilhowski, yeah.
That's
His arrangement
famous.
of
Yes,
Battle
yeah.
Battle
Hymn.
Hymn of the
Republic.
Republic.
So we were the first group to really sing
We
that
were the
with
first
him,
ones
and
to
he came
perform
in to
that
My
direct
with
it.
him
goodness.
directing it.
And then the music teachers convention, national convention, was going to be in Sacramento, and we were invited, our
Our
choir, to
choir
go
was
and perform
invited to
there.
that special convention.
Oh, so you were in a cappella with him?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
But
we.
by the time she
yeah,
was dating another guy.
Yeah,
And
You
he
were
had
too
friends.
slow.
He wasn't a singer. He wasn't in the
Wait, she
choir.
was kissing your hand and dating another
So
guy?
He didn't get to go.
yeah.
But he had friends that went, and they gave him a full report. And then
Well, we were walking down the streets of Sacramento, and Elton took a hold of my hand. And at that moment, electricity went.
we both
And I
felt that
knew that, and I
it
felt
was a,
my.
it was a shock
So
when
early.
we touched it with his hand.
Oh, man.
Anyway, when we got back, the rumor
Right.
was this guy was gonna.
Yeah.
I went to seminary. There's a building right next to South High here, and the building was here, and you come out and you come in the back door of the high school. And so I was told, hey, Eldon, this Richard he's gonna beat you up when you come from seminary. Well, I had friends too. I told my friends, I said, you guys know, this guy, he said, I'm getting the thing that he's gonna beat me up. And they said, Eldon, worry about it, we'll take care of him. Never heard any more about it, that was the end of it. Friends, take care of things.
Wow.
So anyway, we went on that nice trip, came back, and I was in the high school band, and the other trumpeter in the band and another guy, we formed a trio. And this Jim, he took a ladies trio of ladies singing, and he modified it for 3 trumpets.
For the Lord's Prayer.
And he modified it around. We played that in church sacrament meetings.
What?
You
We
imagine
played
a
in
brass
MIA
instrument?
meetings.
Yeah.
We played in a Republican, it was just a political, I don't know what the parties were at that. We played at a political thing, we played at other things. We were out at least 3 nights a week. Now, Joyce and his girlfriend, Jim, he had a girlfriend too that she lived on about 17th South, she lived on like 13th South, and near 7th East. So anyway, I didn't have a car, but he had a car. 3 times a week, he would drive he lived on about 10th South, he'd drive to 8th South, pick me up, then we'd go and pick up his girl, pick up Joyce, and then we'd go do our thing. And we'd do that 3 times a week. When we'd come back, he would take and he'd drop me and Joyce off at her place, then he'd drive up to there and let his girlfriend off, and we knew we had an hour for him to say goodnight to his girlfriend. We had a lot of time, we didn't worry about it. So anyway, when he got through doing that, then he'd come back and pick
you
me up and then take me all the way home. And we did that about 3 times a week.
Well,
We were also in a dance band. We played every Saturday night for a community dance band. Little guy.
Wow.
Neil Gregory's dance band. We'd make $5 every time we did it. Well, that $5, you know, when I was in high school, I got tipped off that, hey, there was a possibility of a job. Our house is here. 8th South, big field, 7th South. Right here on 7th South was a mortuary, Deseret Mortuary. I went there and applied. They needed a bugler. I applied, and they hired me to blow taps for funerals.
Sure.
They'd come by the high school, pick me up. I'd have special permission. They'd pick me up, I'd ride in a hearse out to the cemetery, and they'd tell me where to stand over here where I wasn't seen. They'd give me a signal, and I'd blow taps. Do you know how they do it nowadays? They have a recording and a phony horn or something. It's pretty dumb. Anyway, I'd play taps, and they'd bring me back to school and hand me a $5 bill. And
Wow,
and
nice.
Nice.
that was yours.
You've been making a lot of money. You didn't, he had good jobs for somebody so young. You were.
Yes.
Who? Me?
So they said
Yeah,
young,
you
by
did.
that time, he's
like,
almost
you didn't
25.
go,
It made
and-
$300 a month.
Yeah, you were making pretty good money.
I was
I
only
spent it for
making
my college.
$2,400.
Oh, yes, you were paying your way through
year.
college.
Paying my way through college.
That's right, that's where all your money
So
was
then
going.
when he went for that, and
Yeah.
then when I had to buy a ring for her, we went down to David O. McKay's son. It was McKay's Jewelry there in Salt Lake. We went in there. She picked out her ring, and
I did not.
huh?
I didn't
You
pick
picked
out
out your ring.
I did not.
That was that other girl. I remember.
How many rings did you buy?
Please.
Wait a minute. Ring, and that thing
Sales
cost me so
girl
much money. Oh my God. It cost my last paycheck. It cost everything I had in the bank. In fact, I think I had 2 paychecks I had to cash. $300 I paid for her rings.
Oh, gee, terrible.
$300.
I know.
We're
That's
sure
a
you
lot of
get
money,
$150 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I took everything I
No, his
had.
mother said, my poor boy, he had to pay all his money for a ring.
You don't need to film that.
Oh, yeah.
Is this running?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
we
now
drive
what's
on Valentine's Day, we drive into Snellgrove's ice cream.
Oh, yes.
And he said, well, should we go in and have it, or shall we take some home? I said, I don't know. And he said, well, maybe this will help you decide. So he reaches around in the back and he brings this box out, and in it is a beautiful cake with roses all over it. And my diamond ring was in one of the roses.
Oh, wow.
You did not pick it out at the store.
No.
He picked out an
I thought
expensive
she-
ring and bought it for you.
I-
What did your
That
family
is-
think, Joyce?
Well,
Did they like Elden? Did they know
Oh,
Elden?
yeah, they liked him, but my mother was dead. My dad worked on the railroad and was gone, and I had a younger sibling.
Yeah,
And
that
so it
was
was
hard.
very
Oh,
difficult for him
can't
to
leave.
have me leave.
Yeah.
Leave, yeah.
So we moved in with him.
So what made
We
you
went
decide
on
to get?
let me tell you about this. We went on our honeymoon, and we borrowed mother's car, a little Chiv coupe. It was kind of fairly new.
You took the
We
car.
got up then that next morning after the marriage. We got up next morning. We didn't have breakfast there. We went up as far as Ogden. We went in a restaurant, and I looked at the prices on the menu, and I says, "We're not going to eat here." We walked out of there.
Joyce.
Walked out of there. We went. I don't know what we had for breakfast that morning.
Nothing, wedding
Nothing.
cake.
That's right, we had some wedding cake with us. That's what we had for breakfast. Then we went up to Bear Lake and we were there for a day. Then we went to
Yay
Jackson.
for wedding cake.
Yeah, we're wedding cake 3
We were
times a
at
day.
Jackson and Jackson Hole, and we were there for a day and went to the little lake and stuff, had a boat ride.
Horseback riding.
And we went horseback riding, yeah, that was all good. Then we went to Yellowstone, and I'd always thought it'd be nice to see for 2 people to sleep in the same sleeping bag. So we tried that. That doesn't work.
No.
That's no good. But I wish I'd have taken.
I think we should
I wish-
stop.
I wish I'd have taken a picture of the picnic table in Yellowstone and what we ate, because it was worth a picture. I mean, you've got a can of pork and beans, you've got, I don't know
And I
what.
took the pork out of the beans, put it in a frying pan and fried 1 egg.
I mean, it
You
was
took
really,
wait. You skimmed out the pork out of the pork and
The
beans?
pork, you know, the little chunk
And
of
then
pork.
from the
Little.
grill.
Wow. And then we had that breakfast there, and I don't know what we ate after that. We saw
We came
Yellowstone,
home with 8
and
cents.
we came home, and there was about 8 cents in my
Oh
pocket.
my goodness.
And so,
Gosh.
That's a good story.